Hey YouTube, this is 13 Dragon Blade, aka Tossie13, coming at you with a revamped version of my ninja deck. I've been testing it out, and it's been doing great. The only thing is I had to switch some cards around, and I did some playtesting with some other cards and new cards. So I'm going to be showing you what I took in, what I took out, telling you why I did took out and replacements. But anyway, let's get into the deck profile. I still run the 2 White Dragon Ninja. She's good. Really good. She protects your back row from heavy and such like that. You use her with Super Transformation, which in my other video I discussed is a great asset to have in your deck. So I usually have Magical Mallet teched in, so that way, in case if I draw these, they won't be dead. And then of course, we have to run the 3 Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo, because he's at 3 for a reason. He gets you Super Transformation. He gets you into a ninja if you're running my variant, because I run Flame Armor Ninja and Earth Armor Ninja, so he gets you into those, and it's never a minus to when he's summoned. Same reason behind these. I still kept the 2 Upstart Gold Ninjas. They're amazing. They let you go into Blade Armor Ninja. They let you go into any rank 4 that you want, and if you use Summoner Monk into him and then into Hanzo, you get a Shockmaster first turn, so it's very nice. You discard a trap and you special a ninja. You special the Hanzo, and you immediately get either one of these, which is double Earth Armor, the Cyber Dragon of the ninja deck. It's very basic. You special it, and then you switch it out with Hanzo. You can also switch this out with Hanzo. You normal summon it and bumps itself up a level, and you make a rank 5 Exceed monster. Very basic. I don't really want to go into detail because in my last deck profile, and if you want to see more details on Ninja Deck, please check out my Living in the Shadows Part 1 and 2, and I'll tell you some good tips. Of course, you have to run the 1 to 2 Summoner Monks. It really depends on you, because some people prefer just running triple Upstart and none of this guy, or they prefer running double Summoner Monk and no Upstarts, so it's really just a matter of preference. I just split it between the 2, run 1 Summoner Monk and run 2 Upstarts. 1 Spirit Reaper just for that stall and to poke at your opponent's cards. It's always nice to have as an aggressor and defender, so I like to be sure to use it like that. And then we have some hand traps. We have double Max C. Max C is just good overall. You chain it to your opponent's special summon, and then as soon as they start special summoning a whole bunch of stuff, like with the tour guide, they tour guide into something, and then you get a card for it, and they're wondering, should I exceed, or should I just leave the Sangan out there, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, it's quite good. Obviously, Max C used to be $100, people. Same thing with Veiler. Veiler was quite pricey. I run 3 of it. I'm not fearing no monsters. I just use Veiler, because Veiler's good. That was all the monsters. I believe that's 18. I'm not going to keep so much count. Then we're going to go into spell cards. We have some staples here. We have Dark Hole, Sexy Reborn, Rhoda. Those are just very staple. Switch out your cards, revival monsters, and getting rid of stuff. Then we have 2 pots. We have Pot of Duality, and we have Pot of Avarice. I would run another Duality if I had it, because you need to establish as much draw power and as much search power as you can. Pot of Duality just helps you get into your combo pieces more quicker, because if you Pot of Duality and then you normal summon the Hanzo, you can instantly get a +2. So, that way you'd be able to get Super Transformation from your deck to your hand, and Pot of Avarice because your graveyard gets filled quickly. Heavy Storm is a staple. Just get rid of back row. Book of Moon is a staple. Flipping down tuners, flipping down monsters is always nice. 2 Forbidden Lances, because Forbidden Lance is important, especially right now. It's a battle tactic. It helps save you, saves you from torrential, all that stuff. It's just good to have in any deck. 3 of my decks run Forbidden Lance. You can tell how much I love that card. And 2 MSTs. I have a Starfall MST now. So yeah, 2 MSTs, just back row hate. And then the 1 Tecton Magical Mallet for White Dragon Ninjas. Just in case if you get it in your hand, you put it back in any number of cards back into your deck and you just shuffle. Traps, this is where the lined up changed the most, and of the monster count, I took out Gale and Gores, because they weren't really helping. I barely got Gores out in the field. So, one Mirror Force, because it's Mirror Force and because it's very sexy. Pulled that from a Yugi pack. First pack, no lie. And then we have God Says No, and we have the other two Solons. I decided to put them in this deck, and I changed my Samurai deck. The other warnings are not in there anymore, so now we have the main Solemn Brigade. And then this is also where I made a tiny little switch. I decided to just go with double super transformation instead of going triple, because I ended up discarding one for Upstart anyway, and I figured if I can't get the White Dragon Ninja and if it becomes dead later on, I could just put it back in my deck if I have Magical Mallet at the time. It's not really a big issue to me. And then this is also something that I changed. In place of the other two monsters, and in the lack of time, I decided to go with two Fiendish Chains. Just another way to say no to monsters, because I don't like monster effects going off. And if I can't stop them with Shockmaster, I'll hit them with these. If not, the warnings and such of the Veilers. I have much outs to monsters. I was contemplating on putting between this and Deep Prison, and I decided I prefer going with this because being able to stop your opponent's monsters right in their tracks and negate their effects is better, in my opinion, than having to remove them. I mean, yeah, you could remove them if you want to, but it's just, if you really prefer being aggressive, you know? And then I also put them back in because I can't see why not. Compulse has helped me so much. I took them out, and I just had another super transformation, and I had a torrential in here. Double torrential doesn't really help benefit this deck. I prefer just using these, because then this gives me outs to exceed monsters. This gives me out to certain synchros that I can't get over. It's just a good card overall, so that's why I prefer Compulse. And then just the one torrential. Torrential's good at one in this deck. I mean, you can run it at two, don't get me wrong, because if you have a Knife Strike, this means nothing. If you have Crimson Shadow on the Ninja, this means nothing. So anyway, now we're going to get into the extra deck. Still have the double Blade Armor Ninja, because Blade Armor Ninja's good. He helps you OTK, and he just helps chip in for that damage at your opponent. He's just good. And we have two of this guy. We have two Crimson Shadow Armor Ninja. I never bumped these guys out. I always had two of each. He helps protect you. You detach from him. He can't be destroyed by battle or card effect during either player's turn, which is good. His effect happens spell speed too. Here's Ardius. They're still here. I'm never going to take them out either because they're just good staple rank 5s. With rank 4s, we got a Utopia. It's pretty standard. Utopia is a decent stall card. The Shockmaster, so you can do your Shockmaster play, lock your opponent down from doing stuff. And then, as I said before in my last video, the two Maestros, because I can't explain enough why I love this card. It just protects you. It's a Book of Moon. It's so good. I loved when they released this card. When they released this card, Konami made me very happy, because it's just a good staple rank 4. Then for Synchros, we have one level 5, we have Magical Android, because gaining life points isn't a bad thing. It's a decent beater. For level 6, I had to put a level 6 in here because it was bothering the hell out of me because I couldn't make 6. A Gaia Knight, because they took out all of them. I was going to put Brionic in here until I already got banned. It was just like, they took away Brionic, they took away Goyo Guardian. I was like, this is the only decent choice I have for a 6. And then for level 8s, we have Stardust, Colossal Fighter, and Scrap Dragon. They're all very good. Scrap Dragon especially, just blow off a material off my stroke or anything like that. The Dragon Slayer makes Dark Wolves cry, and Stardust is just good overall. It's in every deck. I can't think of an extra deck that doesn't run a Stardust. And of course the side deck, which I slightly tweaked, but it's not as much different from my first Ninja deck profile. Gemini Imps, because screw Dark Worlds, they're annoying, especially when I'm facing him with the deck. Double DD Crow, it's basic hate towards the meta. double Snowman Eater, because these things have won me games. I cannot tell you how many times I've used Snowman Eater. Just throw them in the deck, take out a few cards, and then bam, it just helps win you games. Sorry for that random move. We got Puppet Plant for Samurais and the new spellbooks, which I'm finding annoying. Two Electric Viruses for Gigiras, for Heretics, Dragons, all that stuff. And friggin' Machinas, because they're still around. System down, same reason. Gigiras, Machinas, some wind-up stuff. And then we've got Double Debunk, because I like being a douche. I don't like hand traps. I just don't. And this says no to them. And negates and banishes, which is always, always nice. Then I couldn't get rid of the other torrential, so I sided it in instead, just in case I know that I can do a board wipe. Non-fusion area for heroes. This is actually the best tech card to have for heroes, because they can't fuse, and all you do is XYZ and Synchro in this deck, so it means nothing to you. And then the one card for Heretics, just Mask of Restrict. You use this on Heretics and they just cry. Anyway, let's take a last look at the sleeves. Zutachi 13, signing out.